And welcome to the November Glimesh board meeting. Welcome everyone in. For those of you that are new, the board meeting is our way of kind of reporting out different business metrics, business goals, kind of catching up with the community. It's kind of a little bit more of a direct stream though, so we welcome you all in. If you have any questions as we go, please ask them and we'll try and answer them kind of as it's happening. If you have any questions that are not really related to what we're talking about, just hold on off on them. We'll get them kind of at the end, or you can ask them at any time in our Discord questions channel. We are streaming from Discord and to Glimesh TV. If you want to join into that conversation, feel free in chat or on Discord. But just keep in mind you will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. So if you don't consent to that, please don't talk there. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. We're doing this on Friday. I missed a couple of the normal meeting days. The first one was last Wednesday, and then the second one was, the first one was 2 Wednesdays ago, and the last one was last Wednesday. But here we are, Friday the 11th. We're getting this shit done. So it's been pretty busy, at least from my life perspective. But the beginning of October was really, really good. We actually had a very good month overall, both from like a feature release perspective, but also from traffic perspective, and also like streamer perspective and viewer perspective. So like across the board, things were really good. Although revenue didn't really go up, so I wouldn't say from a revenue perspective. But from an actual visits and traffic perspective, everything was really nice. And there was a couple of things that kind of helped that traffic, and we'll kind of talk about those here in a second as we go through. But yeah, we had about 4,500 additional unique visitors last month checking us out. And you can definitely see that from the statistics we'll show, or the metrics we'll show below. So a couple of ways that we kind of got that traffic. There was definitely some Twitter drama regarding the big purple site that brings people in, but majority I think was us releasing our RTMP. So we now have low latency RTMP available to everyone. And then we also blasted out a newsletter to kind of everyone who had signed up for our Glimesh newsletter. It was an opt-in process, but anyone who had signed up for that, we blasted them out with a feature update that kind of included where Glimesh is at now, what features we've launched in the past year, kind of because a lot of people really just don't know. They maybe checked this out a while ago and then not, recently. And so we blasted that out. It had sections on, like I said, those features that we launched, but then also, I'm trying to get to it on my other monitor here, but it had emotes and hosting and RTMP and mobile app and events calendar and all the ways you can monetize yourself, like donations and gift subs, and the 80 countries we now support. So let me actually just share this real quick. Let me open this up here. This will be a good recap for everyone here. So we sent this email out. You can see it on my screen here. We launched RTMP here. We had emotes where we have 10 PNG emotes and GIF emotes. We also have platform-wide emotes now, hosting, the events calendar, the mobile app, both on Android and iOS. We've got the homepage random selection. We've got your profile customizations. We've got translations across the board for like 50 languages. We do have donations and gift subs, and we changed the gift sub, or the subscription split to be more in favor of the streamer. And then we've also launched the payout button, or the sub button, to over 80 countries. So almost anyone now can get a sub button or a support button on their channel. So yeah, this email went really well. We sent it out to about, I'm gonna skip ahead of here real quick. We sent it out to about 11,000 people that had opted into that, and we had about a 40% open rate, which is really good. That's a good number of people to open the email. And then that's just people we could even track. There's people who have that disabled in their email client, so it's kind of hard to tell. So it could be a little bit more than that. So that email is really crafted to target users who hadn't been to us in a while, and show them exactly what we've launched. And in the same regard, we launched a new page here on Glimesh. That is the stream setup page, which kind of walks you through how to use Glimesh on various platforms and softwares from a multi-streaming perspective and streaming directly, along with your stream key and any kind of advanced settings you may need, and then kind of recapping all the additional payments and third-party add-ons you might need to power your stream. So all in all, these new things I think have really helped to make Glimesh way more approachable to a lot more users. We still haven't started like pushing as hard as we could on RTMP. We did the tweet and we did the email, but I think we could really start, integrating with other restreaming services now, reaching out to Streamlabs. Anyone in the past who said like, we won't integrate with you until you have RTMP, we now can go back to and say, hey, we have this now. How can you help us out here? So we launched RTMP, which is now available in every kind of region. It's our low latency implementation, which means that the latency is really kind of as fast as FTL. It is slightly slower. There is some encoding that has to happen, but it lets you kind of get the benefits of low latency without having to have special software in order to stream. So now almost every client can stream directly to Glimesh, and a lot of the restreaming services as well can get it going. And then one of the other things that I'm working on now is we need to kind of reduce the number of servers we have even more, just to continue to decrease that profit hit every month. Servers are definitely our largest cost, and we'll talk more a little bit about that in a second. But we're going to be integrating our ingests and edges a little bit more tightly. Right now, for every region, we have to have a minimum of one server for an ingest and one server for an edge. In the near-term future, we'll be able to combine that. So we'll be able to basically have the number of servers we have, while decreasing latency, decreasing cost, and not sacrificing anything from a scalability perspective. So if overnight, if we get a whole ton of traffic, we'd still be able to spin up new servers just as easily and then handle whatever traffic is being thrown at us. So not really getting rid of anything, we're just kind of expanding some of the technical pieces of our architecture. There was a question in chat about doing a kind of like a quarterly newsletter, and that's exactly what we want to start doing. So one of the things we want to do is create a couple of different newsletters. So the first one we have that everyone is prompted to subscribe to is the kind of like the Glimesh newsletter. And I think that's kind of like a quarterly thing. We don't want to email them very often because we imagine that would be the most number of users. So we'd probably do like every quarter, some kind of like impactful email. But then at the same time, starting to add maybe a new newsletter for things like, an events monthly newsletter, like an upcoming events newsletter, which would show you, hey, here's what's happening on Glimesh in the next month or in the next week or whatever it is. And that would just be another touch point. And that could even be opted into from people who don't even have a Glimesh account. You could have like an email form where they can subscribe to that directly. And then things like maybe even having like a weekly feature update or, whatever it is, whatever kind of like helps, something that's not exactly like full of maintenance headache, but helps to kind of poke people frequently. All right, and then one of the other things we did in October, besides all those things, is we actually switched all of our web servers to a different provider. So we were using DigitalOcean before, and they were great, but it required a lot of management to kind of make sure things were up and running. So we actually switched to a service called fly.io. It's kind of like, you shouldn't even notice, there's really no impact from a user perspective, but it decreased our costs for servers and also decreased the amount of maintenance that was required, making it a lot easier for me to not have to touch things all the time. We're still using DigitalOcean and everything for video, just not for the Glimesh TV website. We had a little bit of downtime due to that, but that was required, and now we're in a really good place. So, all right, that's kind of the recap for the month. The first half to me, I was fully involved with, and then the second half was a whirlwind. Uh, so, yeah, Shin. I mean, I think we'd want to definitely make it curated to what you want to learn more about. At the same time, though, it's like it's hard to generate enough content for a ton of emails. So we may have to figure out exactly how to. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's talk about statistics or metrics. I'm kind of tired. I don't know why I'm saying statistics. So this is our streamers and viewers over the past 3 months or so. You can see we definitely had a nice uptick in October. The end of the month was a little bit more shallow, but still a really good number of users. Definitely more than when we started in August. And the viewer or the streamer perspective is kind of just going up and up as well. It's teetering off a little bit, but it's still a good maybe even double from August. From a 3-month plausible perspective, which is our web analytics, you can see this chart here. I do think that one of the things we're tackling now is there's definitely a large number of streams on Glimesh that are live event streams that are not exactly what we want to encourage or support on the platform. We're working on a new policy that will include being able to prohibit those types of streams. And so I think a lot of these like really high ticks are those types of streams. So the ticks overall, I wouldn't consider, our usual traffic, but kind of the increased, if there's a trend line here, the trend line would definitely be more in the 1000s range, maybe 700 range, as opposed to the 500 it was, in the months of August. So we are getting more and more of an audience, more and more people, but I want to kind of like chill out these peaks here because it makes it really hard to, see how we're doing when people aren't becoming users of the platform. They're just kind of trying to leech off of a free video streaming platform. So. And if you're curious about that process, that's on our Building Glimesh forum, so you can check out that policy. And then here's the month of October. And then here's kind of the past 6 months, but or I guess 7 months, but in numeric form. You see here, good number of new users. I actually think there's one more chart here. Let's look. I gotta log in. Oh, nope. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that after. All right, and then we have app metrics. This is for both iOS and Android for the month of October. I don't know. I don't have anything impactful to say here. Definitely a good number of new users on the app kind of around when we launched the newsletter. I should have looked at the downloads to see if that went up as well, but it didn't. And then for our financials, it looks like gross subscriptions is definitely down. We had, it's interesting. So May was a good month. June, I think May was actually launching gift subs or either gift subs or donations, I bet, because that's a big peak. So then we kind of went back down to 1,500, 1,400, 1,200, 1,600, 1,200. So we're kind of like, balancing out between each month's, different subcuts or different subscriptions that are coming in to us. I think it's interesting. We're not really doing anything to like drive subscriptions. I think all you have there is a support button. So it's up to the streamers to kind of push subs for their own channel. And I think we're really not focused on like increasing the subscriptions necessarily as much as we're focused on increasing the growth of the platform and then kind of letting subs come in natively. But it is interesting that in October, when we did have significantly more streamers and viewers on the platform, there haven't been any additional subscribers, or maybe there were, and it kind of like evened out a little bit, but it didn't seem like anything major. We paid out streamers $753.99, and then the Connect fee was lower because of the issue we had last month where the payouts were delayed, and so they didn't actually postmark that month. So they'll be in this next month. You'll see in November when we're finished. No merch sales last month. And then on a expenses side, as far as technology goes, our DigitalOcean bill is down. That's due to we deleted the 2 web servers we were using. We also, in November, have deleted a couple more servers, which is going to drop this bill down even more since we're moving them to Fly. You can see here Fly started increasing to 208. 208 should be our average Fly bill. We could go slightly below that, but I want to keep up the redundancy for the website just at any time so it doesn't crash. The website has crashed a lot less as well on Fly, which is very exciting. So a lot less maintenance on my side. And then Vulture is just a normal $60. And so yeah, what I expect the infrastructure bill to do next month is to half. So it should be, and not November, I won't be done yet, but in December, the bill should be half. Which again, we're gonna run out of money soon in the bank. So, we'll start to contribute, whatever we need to keep the business going. But at the same time, I want to reduce those costs. That way we have every opportunity to continue on with just money from the community directly. So it's going to happen. I mean, you can see the bank balance here. We're 6 months away from not having any additional bank balance. But what we'll do, I mean, we'll continue to exist because we'll continue to make sure the business can stay afloat, no problem. But if I can get this down to 500, then it brings us closer and closer to delaying that. And so let's talk about that for a second. So one of my main focuses right now is reducing costs. So the main one is the DigitalOcean cost, which is killing us. To have all these servers spun up in duplicate just to support each region. If we take them down to just one server per region, we'll still be able to have everyone supported as it is today without any impact of the service while saving half of our money. In the same vein, one of the largest expenses that we pay for is a service called PO Editor, which is a translation service. And I actually emailed PO Editor. I said, hey, we're actually an open source. So they have an open source license that is free. And we're open source. But we're for profit. And we're not really providing our sources like a way of like a community. I mean, it's community good, but at the same time, it's not like we're a library, or something like that. We're really a for-profit business. And so I emailed them. I said, hey, we're open source, but we're not large. We're a very small company. We're trying to provide everything equally and fairly to our users. We're trying to provide our source so everyone can use it and fork it and make it their own. Is there any way we could get a discount or a cut? Somewhere in the middle here. And they said, sure, we'll give you a 50% discount forever. So starting next month, our PO editor bill, which is currently $120 a month, and that's included in this recurring services, is going to go down to half, which is a very nice thing for them to do. In addition, we are going to look at removing some of our other services that we're not using. We've got it whittled down pretty far. Some of these things are critical to have, but continuing just to drive that monthly expenses down. That way, our income, which is revenue, can hopefully keep us afloat a little bit longer, just from the Glimesh balance alone, and not dipping into other people's pockets. All right. So with that, the recurring services went up this month because we added 2 new services. The first one is Email Octopus. That is what we use to email people, so we got to use that up. And then the second one is, I just lost it. Where is that? Uptime Robot, which is just to tell us when the site's down. We've had it for a while, but we needed to upgrade the plan a little bit on it. So this amount is higher than last month, but next month it'll be lower. So, and then the one-time services was we had our PO box renewal, and I did spend $100 on Twitter to just try out boosting our RTMP launch to see if we were able to get additional traffic. I don't think it mounted into any meaningful traffic, so it was just kind of a test, $100 test, see what happens. All right, so that brings our total income for the month to $1,241. total expenses, including streamer payouts, to 2,790, which is our total profit of negative $1,549. And then in the bank total across Stripe and checking, we've got $6,431. And yeah, that's it for finances. Anyone have any questions on the finances? Again, after we do this, cost-cutting measure, we're not going to be profitable, but hopefully this number would be something like, 700 and not 1,500. Yeah, I really need to get this shit done so we can, karate chop some of the services. Well, no, I mean, I've been working on it, Paco. It's very hard. 210 Waffle asks, would looking for outside investors be an option in the future? That's a complicated question. If anyone's interested in giving us money, we'd love to talk about it. But at the same time, we're very picky about who we would take money from and how we would take money from them. Like what type of ownership would be involved and what type of guilt would be involved and what would be their kind of reward for it, right? Like how would we be able to pay them back? So it's kind of like we're not exactly a easy to invest in company, especially because one of the things we want to do is really start to pivot our ownership towards the community as a whole, as opposed to just like single people, which makes it really hard to get investment. So that's gonna be challenging. I think really what we could do if we had some money is just pour it into marketing. That would be the goal. Like the development is whatever. We could always add more features, always have more things, but we gotta get the word out there, to people who've never heard about us before. Unfortunately, it's really hard to grow competitors. We're seeing this right now with Twitter. Twitter is literally imploding in front of everyone's eyes, and no one's switching. Sure, there's people creating new accounts on Mastodon and stuff, but Twitter's not gonna die because of it. And so it could be the biggest shithole on the planet, right? And people are still gonna use it. And that's the same thing with the Twitch. It's got its grip, right? So we have to take time. It's going to take a long time to build this thing and become a behemoth, become a larger service. Yeah. Twitter works great. Again, it's like you're going to find a large audience there, right? So it's beneficial to be there. All right, so that is our board meeting. Does anyone have any questions about anything here? If not, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and end the recording and we'll continue streaming. And then, just chit chat for a little bit. And then that's that. Jonesy asks, are there any marketing plans in the works right now? Not really. I would say not really. We have our events that kind of help bring in people. But really it's kind of word of mouth at the moment. We've tried several marketing campaigns. It seems like none of us are really good at it, at least especially not me. So it's very difficult to create something that is impactful or compelling for people. If you're interested in helping, we'd love to help. Building Glimesh is definitely the best place to get involved. But yeah. I hate to say that, but honestly, we're not really marketing right now. We did do a marketing push last month, but right now we don't have anything in the pipeline for November. Our marketing push last month was RTMP. So we did push that live, and then we sent out the newsletter, and those both got us a good number of traction. Both the people signing up for the newsletter, but also people signing up for Glimesh and checking us out. Oh, here's what I was going to check out. Let me sign into this real quick. All right, so I think we track account registrations, kind of, here. Let's see here. Last month. Yeah, there you go. So this is the number of like accounts that are registered per day, or at least I try to. And you can see we did have a nice little peak here for the newsletter, 108 people or so. We've also got the open data page. It's too small because it keeps the index. Damn it. Yeah, but see, this is per week. 160 in September or August, 117, 299, 414, 267, 352, 362, 490, 406. So we have our, each week there's at least 300 people signing up for Glimesh. So how do we get those people more involved? How do we continue to talk to those people? These are all good questions, or good things to tackle, I guess. Alrighty then. Thank you everyone for stopping by, joining our board meeting. Thank you, and see you later.